Hello everybody, and just welcome to another No Meds video. Tonight we're going to be having some tremendous discussion. We're going to be talking about three very significant challenges that so many people have learned to live with. We're going to be talking about kidney health, we're going to be talking about sleep, and we're going to be talking about MS. And we're also going to be giving a PDF to all those who are going to be watching us. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So thank you once again for joining me. So let's talk a little bit about sleep. It has been estimated that up to 50% of those of you watching me right now that are middle-aged middle-aged means 50 or older, have challenges going to sleep and sleeping through the entire night. That means having restful, peaceful sleep. And I would encourage you to go to our Facebook page and just look at the No Meds video that we had for the month of March, because we had an individual who had a Fitbit, and this individual was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I learned an awful lot from this person, because what you're going to see and what I have learned is a lot of individuals will wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning because they have blood sugar stress. So let's just say that it's 9 o'clock at night and you are ready to go to sleep. Or let's say it's 10 o'clock at night, because I thought 9 o'clock might be early for many of you, unless you live in the cold north. But let's just say it's 10 o'clock at night, and you're laying there in bed, and your brain, your body is exhausted, but your brain is literally going 100 miles an hour. So what are you going to do? What's causing that? So this is what I've learned from my experience. I have learned, and I read a book called Why Am I Always Tired by Ann Louise Gittleman. And Ann Louise Gittleman wrote the foreword to my very first book on ADHD. And so what Ann Louise talked about in her book is that when somebody has high copper, they're going to have low zinc, and they're going to have a greater chance to have difficulties having restful, peaceful sleep. So how do you know if you don't have enough zinc? You can look at your fingernails. Do you see white spots on your nails? I do not have white spots on my nails. Do you have large pores on your face? I don't have large pores on my face. I'm just bringing that up because white spots on your nails, large pores on your face are body signals for a zinc need. So if you have low zinc and high copper, you're the individual who's going to go to bed at night, and your brain's going to be going 100 miles an hour and your body's exhausted. So that's one thought that could interfere with sleeping. Let's talk about another. Let's just say that you just can't fall asleep at night. I would encourage you to incorporate Calmag-Zyme. Calmag-Zyme is a product that we use. Calcium is just like a natural relaxant that will help your body, assist you to go through that sleeping process. Maybe 4 or 5 right before you go to bed. Empty stomach. Probably one of the areas that we see some of the bigger challenges with individuals when it comes to sleeping is they have adrenal gland exhaustion. Their adrenals are exhausted. How do you know if your adrenals are exhausted? Bright light might bother your eyes. You get dizzy from a sit to a stand position. You wear sunglasses. Adrenal fatigue is also one of the leading reasons why individuals have a problem achieving restful, peaceful sleep. So let me talk to you about a few other just thoughts. Let's say you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you're successful at falling asleep and you wake up 1 hour later. What I have learned from my experience is oftentimes it's a need for B vitamins, B as in Bravo. So B vitamins sometimes are deficient and your adrenal gland might be overstimulated and you wake up at 1 hour later. Or let's say you go to bed at 10, you wake up at 11. So I'm going to flip over to about 3 o'clock in the morning. This is something that I think you're going to find very exciting. Jessica, who was on our video clip, and she did a really nice presentation. She just had purchased or received a Fitbit, and she was sharing with me that with her Fitbit, she can track her deep sleep. So she said every time she comes into our practice, that's our chiropractic practice, and receives an adjustment, she always has the best night's sleep. End of story there. I had another individual came into my practice that got a new Fitbit. These Fitbits are really wild. I'm just waiting to get the exact right one for my family, especially for my wife, just to see how both of our sleep patterns are. Anyway, we had another individual that said to me that she was getting a hot flash. And she found out with her Fitbit that she was having the hot flash at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, I had somebody else to tell me that they were getting these night sweats at the same time, and they were waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. So what I have learned from my experience, individuals that have a sugar handling stress issue, and these are also individuals that might juice and consume a lot of juice in the morning. Like if you're going to do any juicing, you don't want to do more than an 8-ounce container in the morning, because if you're over juicing, you could go to bed, let's just say at 10, and you're going to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning because your blood sugar is dropping. So what was going on with these individuals, which I think is so intriguing, with the hot flashes and the night sweats, you're saying aren't they the same? You know, kind of in an indirect way, yes. You know, sweating profusely is a hot flash, as a night sweat, but just being warm is a hot flash. Anyways, it could be blood sugar stress. So if any of you right now watching me or watch me in the future, and you start noticing with your Fitbit or whatever it is, the watch that you're using, that you're waking up at a certain time, I want to know the time and just give us a little bit of background on what's going on. So what I want to talk to you about next when it comes to sleeping are individuals that'll go to bed, let's just say at 10 o'clock at night, and they wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is something that we've just talked to our practice members and we listen to them. Individuals who grind their teeth at night, thrash their bed, or wake up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, these individuals may have parasites. These same individuals maybe eat wild game, sushi, pork, have been to a third world country, or they have a cat. And people who have cats tend to have parasites. Now, I don't need any hate email, because people who have cats are very loving, passionate human beings, but they usually tend to have a parasite issue, and the parasites are active at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So let me recap sleep. If you go to bed at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night and your body is exhausted and your brain's going 100 miles an hour, it could be high copper. People who have high copper have low zinc. People with low zinc have white spots in their nails. They may have blood sugar stress, large pores in their face. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you wake up at 11, it could be a body signal for B vitamins. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, you could have parasites. Now, as a side note, if you really want to find out if you have parasites or not, we could literally do a stool culture, and we would investigate exactly what's going on inside of your colon and what kind of parasites you might have. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, it could be blood sugar stress. So this evening, what we're doing is we have a couple giveaways. If you would like to receive a PDF of the Trans Fat book, all you have to do is type free book in the subject line, and you're going to email that to customercare@druglessdoctor.com. So customercare@druglessdoctor.com, type in free book on the subject line, and we'll send you a complimentary copy of Dr. Bob's Trans Fat Survival Guide. Now, the very first, we're going to have 3 giveaways, and the first giveaway happens to do with sleep. So if you're interested in being in the drawing for sleep, I want you to type the word here and write the word sleep. And then we're going to announce the winners. What you're going to have the potential to win is the CalMag-Zyme that I was talking about and the Zinc Zyme. So that's for the people who are very excited about winning the sleep free bundle. We talked about that during the month of March. What I want to speak about next is kidney health. Now, kidney health can be very, very serious. And I have an acquaintance of mine that works for a place where they do dialysis. And so I just asking questions. I think sometimes I just learn stuff by talking to people. So I said to this person, I said, so talk to me about, like, what do you do over there? Why are all these dialysis units coming up? And he looked at me with a smile on his face. He said, Dr. Bob, as long as there's Tylenol, as long as there's aspirin, there'll always be dialysis, because those 2 items, especially the Tylenol, create distress to the kidneys. Now, back in the day, I used to drink alcohol, and I quit in 1991. But when I was drinking alcohol, my liver was compromised. and my liver became compromised, my kidney became compromised. So I'm going to say something new to you maybe never heard before. Your kidney is actually your second liver. So if your liver is compromised, your kidney's going to have to work harder, and you're going to sweat. You may have high blood pressure, and you could have smelly feet. And people have smelly feet. It's not necessarily their feet. It's probably their kidneys, but it's not their kidneys. It could be their liver. So your kidneys are purifying organs. And probably the biggest challenge, and I speak all over the place, and I just was speaking this weekend, this Monday, to a group of 70 or 80 seniors, and people close to me, I said this: you need to drink water. And I could hear people just say under the breath, I don't drink enough water. So I use something called a clean canteen. And the clean canteen is a container that's stainless steel, and I make sure that I drink a minimum of a quart of water every day. But I also eat vegetables every day, and I consume salad. So you're getting water in that arena also. But you want to be drinking a minimum of a quart of of water. Because I was going to say to you next, the worst thing for kidneys happens to be soda. You do not want that in your body at all, because not only cause kidney distress, it's going to cause kidney stones. So you want your kidney to be functioning optimally without distress. Water is the great purifier. Now there's some other areas I just want to briefly touch on you, because what you eat impacts your kidneys. An area that I really avoid is fast food restaurants. And the reason is that fast food restaurants have a lot of sodium in them. And when we have a lot of sodium, it's going to cause water retention, creating extra distress to your kidneys. I also want you to know that quote unquote water pills or hydrochlorothiazide also creates distress to your kidneys, because your kidneys are dumping off a lot of water. Now, what I'm holding in my hand right now, this is a stone. This is not a kidney stone, but I know that there are individuals that have told me that when they have kidney stones, it's the worst pain known to men. Now, men don't have babies, so women will share with you having a baby is the worst pain known to human, but men will tell you that that kidney stone is probably the worst. Now, soda drinking, not water, will cause a kidney stone. Now, there's something that you can do that's really simple. It's called a Murphy punch test. So I'm not telling you not to see a healthcare provider, but you can do a simple test where you're going to have an individual put their hand on the lower part of your mid-back, and they're going to just tap on it. And if you have a kidney stone, and they do this to both sides, that's going to cause pain or discomfort. Low back, right below those ribs. If the pain goes down into your groin, we know for sure you have a kidney stone. It's called the Murphy punch test. Now, if you have a kidney stone, there's a lot of things that you need to do, but if you have an immediate lot of pain with the kidney stone, one of the wise things for you to do is to get an organic lemon, cut the lemon into sections or fourths, and what you're going to do with that is you're going to take the section of the lemon, squeeze it into warm water. You'd be really wise to maybe put some flowerets of parsley in the water, warm water preferred. Drink the water, eat the pulp, and also chew on the parsley. See, parsley is a natural kidney purifier. So let's just talk about kidneys just for a moment. The kidneys really become your second liver. So if you're really thinking about what I'm saying to you, is your liver is a very significant organ. If your liver is not functioning, your kidney has to work overtime. You really want to, and you really need to be drinking water. Avoid soda. Dr. Bob's ABCs would go a long way. Half a red apple every day, third cup of beet fiber, and a medium carrot. Now I'm going to share something else with you I need you to think about for a moment. I had an individual came into our practice today, and he was having a beginning issue of cataracts. Or I might have people that come in and have joint pain, or they have a lot of tartar on their teeth. What's happening to those individuals is calcium is depositing out of their body. What's going on is they usually have too much phosphorus calcium ratio imbalance. We use with the heavy on the calcium side. So we use something called superphosphozyme. This is significant, and we also have superphosphozyme capsule. Superphosphozyme liquid is something you can use a bottle or two of, but you want to go over to the superphosphozyme capsules, and here's why. If you have acute severe pain, kidney pain, and the water and lemon is not working, you really want to get a hold of us so we can send you out some superphosphozyme, and you're going to take 30 drops 2 or 3 times a day to get rid of that pain. Because see, if you don't get rid of that kidney stone pain, what's going to happen, they're going to do an ultrasound, they're going to take a part of your kidney out. But your real problem is, even with the superphosphozyme, you really want to improve the metabolism of your body. So you want to make sure that you're drinking enough water. So if you have tartar on your teeth and cataracts and arthritis, those are basically kidney stones in other parts of your body, and you need phosphorus. We use superphosphozyme capsules for long term. I've not really ever mentioned that before, so I'm really excited that you've been able to participate with me about that tonight. So we're going to transition now a little bit to another subject, but before we do, if you'd be so interested in receiving the PDF of Dr. Bob's Trans Fat Survival Guide, which is an excellent book, by the way, not because I put it together, but it has a lot of really good information that we use every day in our practice. Type the word free book and send an email off in the subject line, of course, to customercare@druglessdoctor.com. If you're interested in being a part of the drawing or the bundle that we're going to be giving away for the kidney bundle, which is going to be, someone's going to get 2 products. It's going to be CalMag, or it's going to be, I'm sorry, for the sleeping, it's CalMagzyme and Zinczyme. Type in the word here and put sleep. So I'm going to give you the second bundle right now. Second person's going to win something called Renal Plus. That's a product that we use for people that have kidney distress. Type the word here and then put the word kidney. So you have the opportunity to be in the drawing tonight to win the kidney product. So we're going to transition now to a very serious health condition, and that happens to be multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is altered physiology in the nervous system. And I see that there's patterns. Everything that we see in our practice is always patterned. I commonly see MS in individuals who have excessive stress. Stress is devastating. Here's what the stress does. It just complicates the adrenal gland. It reduces the amount of cortisol in your body. And cortisol helps take away inflammation. So if you're underneath a lot of stress and your cortisol is elevated, what's going to happen over time, you're going to have inflammation. So that's one area that I've seen consistent with individuals that have MS. Now I'm going to share 2 very other important nuggets right now. There's something called progesterone. And we talk about this in Dr. Bob's Drugless Guide to Balancing Female Hormones. And we talk about this in Dr. Bob's Men's Health, the Basics. So I'm going to tell you the why we see the cortisone issue and stress. Because see, there's something called progesterone. Progesterone becomes cortisone. If you're underneath a lot of stress, your body's going to use everything up, all that progesterone, to make cortisone. I'll say that again. We usually see individuals that have adrenal gland, or that have MS, have adrenal gland stress. The adrenal glands make cortisone. If you're underneath a lot of stress, your body's going to use all the cortisone up. But your body uses something, and you could write this down, called progesterone to make the cortisone. Now here's what I've learned. Individuals who have MS, who have miscarriages, who have breast cancer, and who have low thyroid have low progesterone. I will say that again. Progesterone becomes cortisone in your body if you're underneath a lot of stress, and or if you have your hand in the cookie jar eating cookies, or if you're eating these silly things. Now listen, I don't promote Peeps. I'm sure that if they would have taken these to the moon in 1969, the Peeps will look just like this. Peeps are not a health food, and they're not chicken, okay? So no Peeps. So what happens is, if you're eating Peeps, your body has to make cortisone to process the Peeps. But your body makes cortisone from progesterone. I have learned from my experience that a person who has low progesterone has a poor conversion of T4 to T3, which means low thyroid. People who have low thyroid tend to have breast cancer. When you don't have enough progesterone and you don't have good thyroid function, you're going to have a miscarriage. If you don't have enough progesterone, you're going to have issues with MS. I'm telling you, We see it all the time. Now, here's the next level when it comes to the MS, or the multiple sclerosis, and this is very significant. That people who have MS usually have an oil deficiency, omega-3 fats. Now, when I was so fortunate to write Dr. Bob's Guide to Stop ADHD in 2000, they did not have an essential fatty acid blood spot test. And we had a testimony of someone during the month of March, and this individual had MS for a long time. And we were able, by the grace of God, to help her because we found out that she had oil levels that were low. So all the men that are watching me right now, you know that in your car engine, there's a dipstick that you have. You can look to see how much oil. In the human body, we don't have a dipstick, but we have the essential fatty acid blood spot test. And I'm going to tell you, if there'd be one test that you could put into your budget to do once a year, every 2 years, it's the essential fatty acid blood spot test. And here's why. And write this down, and you can do a search on your favorite engine. DHA, Delta Hairy Alpha. DHA is the long chain fatty acid that's for brain health, but it's also for nerve health. So your brain sends messages on a layer of fat called the myelin sheath. If you don't have enough oil, you cannot send the messages down. That's one of the reasons that we like our practice members to have the essential fatty acid blood spot test, because if you don't have that blood spot test done, you're not going to be able to find out how your body's functioning. This one individual that I'm just talking about her because she gave her testimony, but we see it all the time in our practice. Excuse me, people who have MS have low oil. They don't have enough oil to send them messages. And something else that I've seen with individuals with MS is they have low vitamin D, Delta. Vitamin D and oil deficiencies are common with those who have MS. So you can do a vitamin D3 test. It should be at least 40. I know that the normal lower end of normal is 30. I want to see 40 or 50. That's one of the reasons you see so many people north of the Mason-Dixon line and actually north of Atlanta that have health challenges with MS and other seasonal affect disorders because of lack of sunshine. You know, we don't have a lot of sunshine always up here in the north. So I want you to think of oil as liquid sunshine, and the essential fatty acid blood spot test, I'm getting excited, helps me help you. And you want that because I'm going to scare everybody right now. If you don't have enough DHA, you have a greater chance to get Alzheimer's and dementia. And I don't think, with a raise of hands, if you want to get Alzheimer's or dementia. So let's just kind of bring this wagon train on home here a little bit for you, okay? MS is nervous system dysfunction. Your brain sends messages on a layer of fat called the myelin sheath. So I tell you 2 or 3 reasons to have MS. Number 1, stress. What does stress do? Uses up all the cortisone. What makes cortisone? Progesterone. What I've learned from my experience, people who have MS have low progesterone. You can literally do a saliva test. See, what's so spectacular about testing today is that we can create literally a plan. And if you have a family member that has issues with MS, don't wait to see if you're going to get it. You see, if you follow their recipe pattern, you're going to get what everybody else in your family has. So when my wife and I got married in 1976, we made the decision to change the recipe box that all of our family was eating. So we didn't eat all the food that I was raised on or she was raised on. Yeah, we ate some of it, but we made lifestyle changes. And we use oil every day. So all of you watching right now, just because flax oil is good doesn't mean you have to take flax oil, because I have some people take too much flax oil. They get too much flax oil, they can get a B6 deficiency. So I want you to make sure that for all of you that just recently joined me, you can get a free book tonight, Dr. Bob's Trans Fat Survival Guide. All you have to type in the word is free book and send an email off to customercare@druglessdoctor.com. That's going to help you learn more about what's going on in your body. So let me talk to you a little bit about this whole MS issue. Trans fat or partially hydrogenated oils. Trans fat or partially hydrogenated oils can sabotage your body's ability to make DHA. I am going to say that again. Trans fat or partially hydrogenated oils can sabotage your body's ability to make DHA. Now, Gail Radke, can you send an email to customer care at druglessdoctor.com and tell us what of the bundles you would like, sleep, kidney, or MS? And before you make that decision, the MS bundle is going to be Bio-Omega 3. So that's a bottle of Bio-Omega 3 oil. All three of these were tremendous. So if you would like to be a part of our campaign tonight and win one of the three products, we have Renal Plus for kidney. You need to type the word here and then put next to it kidney, sleep, or MS. Gail, you won one of those three. Please send that off so at the other end of our social media we could have that covered for you. We only have a few minutes left. Next, let's go back to this trans fat. So on the video of Becky, and I want you to watch this because it's a good testimony. She had MS for like 14 years and it's gone. That's pretty impressive. Anyway, she liked to eat bagels. Well, guess what bagels will do? Bagels take zinc out of the body. And when you get Dr. Bob's Trans Fat Survival Guide, I want you to go look at the omega-3 chart number 3. And I want you to look at the word ZN. So hear what I'm saying to you. Now, this is very important. If you eat bagels and bread take zinc out of the body. Your body needs zinc to make the fat for your brain to work. So this is significant stuff. And this Trans Fat Survival Guide you're going to get, if you're wise, type the word here in and put free book and send an email off to customercare@druglessdoctor.com. It's going to change your life. And so the essential fatty acid blood spot test is the test that we use to tell people the kind of oil that they need. So let me wrap all this up together for you because we've talked about a lot tonight. MS, stress, oil, and lack of D. And I want you to know, I personally take a product called Demulsion Forte. I put 2 drops on my tongue every morning. Vitamin D helps the absorption of calcium in the body. And what we have learned from our experience, people who experience MS tend to have a deficiency in vitamin D. So, sleep. If you have problems falling asleep at night, you may have too much copper, not enough zinc, get your hand out of the cookie jar. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you wake up at 11 and you cry easy, you might need B vitamins. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning, you could have a parasite problem. You might want to have a stool culture to make sure you don't have parasites. If you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night and you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you probably have blood sugar stress. You really want to get your hand out of the cookie jar. Number 2, kidney, renal. Drink water. Water is important. Stay away from soda. If you're going to drink coffee, drink half calf, half decaf, Swiss water, processed coffee, Dr. Bob's coffee blend. That's why we had it made. It's organic. You want to drink water, no soda. If you have a kidney stone, water with lemon. When this is posted, you're going to want to watch this again and you're going to want to share it. Finally, MS, very serious condition. Usually lack of oil, lack of omega-3 fats. You can have that determined by doing an essential fatty acid blood spot test. I know that none of you want to get dementia or Alzheimer's. It'd be worth your while just to get the essential fatty acid blood spot test just for that. If you would like to get a trans fat survival guide, you must type the word free book and send an email off to customercare@druglessdoctor.com. Stay away from eating all these fake sugar things because these type of items are going to create distress in your body. I appreciate all of you being a part of this. At the end of this month, we're going to be talking about irritable bowel, very common. We have some really good insight. We're going to be posting a lot of wonderful items. Autism, and we're going to be talking about alcohol. And I might even be giving you my own, I might even video myself because I used to drink alcohol and I stopped in 1991. So thank you for being a part of this. We look forward to next month. Thank you for following us on Facebook. I'd love for you to pass this information on to your friends and family. And we're here to make a difference. If you have any questions, you can always go and type in your questions. Go to our website, and we answer questions every week at Ask Dr. Bob and pass this information on to your family. So they also can receive this information. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye.